And we are live. And where's our counts? Folk. I don't see. You
Shoot,
see the
you know,
count?
she got a lot of them daytime drivers out there that are afraid to drive at night. So I'm not sure how many people we're gonna have up here.
Here we go. We're off and running. Uh, I'm looking for the counter. Where is it? We're kind of jittery too. Uh,
Wait, do you want to get set up on my Wi-Fi? You might be able to look up.
and I don't see that light, the comment stream either. I don't see the comment streams either. Uh, top chat. Okay. So I guess nobody started chatting yet. That's what it is. We got to wait for some folks to get in here. There it is. What's going on, fellas? Well, howdy. Hey, hey, Aaron. Hey, no hippie here. No hippie truck and transport. Wannabe. I don't know why you keep the wannabe. You're not
Because I'm gonna
wannabe
wait till I
anymore.
deliver my first load single to take that off. You know what I mean?
I get it. Hey, well, do you think we can share it? We can share this back on your page too as well, right? After it's done.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I need to put the comments down there so that you can find his page. Hey, hey, what's up, Gary? See, I don't know if you can see it on there. Can you see on
Yeah,
here?
I'm about to log on.
Oh, and what's up? What's up? Hey, let's see. What's up, Swift? Now I'm located in a different company. What? You're not with Swift? Is that what that said? You know, they don't stay on there very long. So we using a.
Oops.
Oh yeah, because I'm gonna start getting busy. Oh, I'm going to Swift Transportation in August 5th, and I'm worried about passing my permit. Okay, good question, and this is a good way to get that started. And um, the apps, I had some. I used. The question was about the permit test. Now we're going to be if OTR got 4 kids. Hey, get us a big sleeper. Bring them all. Homeschool them on the road. I don't know. uh,
Four
for
kids. That's reason enough to go OTR right there.
yeah, you just get a big buck and they all
You
ride
can
with you.
leave them kids at home.
um, what it was a good question about CDL permit tests. So when Prime did there, by the way, no hippie is with Prime. So we're gonna. You guys have any questions about Prime as well? You know, I'm a Swifty. He's a primey. Primate. You get it? Okay. So if you guys have questions about Prime as well, um, try to throw them in there. We're going to try to keep up with them. We don't have an Autumn here to help us read all these things. Yeah, I'm going to Richmond, 28th training and permits. Okay. So uh, to do my permit tests, I got my permit before I went to school, and I just took them one at a time, and I used the apps, and the app was CDL Prep. That's what I use, CDL Prep. And is there a state specific that you use yours? Because I put Texas in mine, and then it gave me,
I put in Colorado. They're pretty much the same.
yeah, they're federal uh, licenses. So I mean, uh, but put your state in there and CDL Prep, and it's an app, and you download it, and uh, I did general knowledge at first. 'Cause I think you have to do them in order. You can't. You have to do general knowledge before you can do uh, air brakes, and then you have to do that. They're in order. But those that app, that CDL Prep, was, I bet you, 99% of the test when I went to take the permit, and passed it with flying colors. I mean, it was. I probably sat down in front of that computer, I don't know, 15 minutes, done. And it's really good. So you can do that. After you get your permit, uh, by the way, by the way, another thing, you can't get your permit before you get your DOT physical. You got to get a DOT physical first because you got to show that to the state when you go get the to do the permit. So all of y'all listening, when you get ready to get started, it's not a bad idea to go get your DOT physical before you even inquire, because you want to make sure that you can actually be hired. You know that you can actually get a license. And so you go to a real one. Don't go to somebody that's gonna take your money and say yes. Because what's going was it? No hippie in the house. Yes, he
Literally.
is. And we are in Denver, Colorado. To all of my Texas family, we need to take some of this dry air up back to the house because feels pretty good out here.
Gorilla trucker, I live in
What I'm gonna,
Denver.
yeah, yeah. No hippie lives in Denver, and I do Costco dedicated with Swift from Salt Lake to Denver, and back to Salt Lake and Denver. He's gonna feed me today, and if he feeds me well, he's gonna be here for a while. He might have me knocking on his door a few more times before before he gets back on the road.
Yeah, we got some nice ribeye steaks
Yeah,
about to get smoked and grilled off here in a little bit.
yeah,
So should be good to go.
yeah, yeah. Check out No Hippie Barbecue and Cooking. That's it, right? No Hippie Barbecue and Cooking, and a lot of good things on there. That's how I well, let's see, what is this? Swiss School and Permit Class, Atlanta. I'm sorry, it goes away so quick I couldn't read all that. I only got one good eye, and the
Let's
other one ain't
see.
worth a shit either. But um,
He's asking, will they help you study for the permit?
uh, will the school help you study? No. They If you show up with no license, and no permit rather, you have to go through the permit class, and they're basically going to give you a little bit of information, put a book in front of you, and tell you to start studying. That's basically what it is. P- Guys and gals, let's be prepared, okay? Boy Scout motto: be prepared. Let's not show up to the school without our permits if we don't have to, okay? And the reason why is because you only get so many times to pass them, and if you don't pass them, and you have to pass them in order, you can't move on without passing general knowledge first, okay? And then there's air brakes, and then what's the other one? The brain fart now.
Combination.
Combinations. Uh, you can't get those other two without doing the general knowledge first. And if you don't get them all in a specific amount of time, they will send you home. And so, why do that? Why don't you uh, get to the school with your permit already? And even though they may send you through the permit class again, it doesn't matter because you already have yours, and you won't have a chance of being sent to the house. So let's just do the best we can to be successful on the first shot. Okay, bullseye the first time. If you're a little bit off center, then you just make a little adjustment, hit the crosshairs the next time. But we don't want to totally miss target because then they're gonna send you home. Okay, let's not run that risk.
All
Okay.
right, so I know that Prime allows dogs and cats, but what about Swift?
There is a weight limit on dogs and cats, and last I've heard, and this was when I went through school, that they don't allow certain breeds. What breed they don't allow?
Pitbull?
Uh, you know, and I'm pretty sure your pit bull is just the nicest thing on the face of the earth, but you ain't gonna put him on a Swift truck. If you do, they're gonna say something. Now, I've seen some pit bull mix at the terminal, and I've seen some big ass dogs at the terminal too. So, you know, there's supposed to be some limits, but I don't know if they being enforced. To be quite honest with you.
Well, Aaron's saying that he has two small cats combined like 14 pounds. So let me get with Prime. Prime has a 3 heartbeat type of a situation. So if you have your wife and you could have one other animal. If it's just you can have two other animals. And 14 pounds, I mean, that would fit in Prime's situation.
Yeah. If you taught the cats how to drive, then there could just be 3 cats and you can stay at the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. See? How does the kitty litter thing work in that truck? Curious about that, you know. And then they lift their leg and they tail and spray stuff, don't they?
No, not.
Like a skunk. I don't know. I don't do cats, man. I don't do dogs either. They take my
But he's
money.
doing well with my dogs out here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They some cool little. Now I say that, my thing is is big dogs. That big cow patties in my yard and shit. I just I don't have a problem with the dog. It's just as long as the owner's taking care of them, I'm okay.
Actually, somebody's asking about Prime. You know what? That's
Yeah.
a good decision. No, I'm joking. Let's stop. Prime is hiring in California, but it has to be a company position. It can't be a lease driver coming out of California. So they just lifted that restriction. I think the only states that Prime is not hiring out of now is Florida and Georgia. And I think they say there's not enough freight going into those states to get you home.
Right.
But listen, me and my trainer aren't from Florida and aren't from Georgia, and we've rolled through there plenty of times. So I don't know what's up with that. So
And Swift is. I actually was visited with Autumn yesterday, and what company is better? Swift. Hey, you know what? Listen, I had a video. I put out a video. That video was how to choose the one. Okay, and not all shoes gonna fit. Okay, and we talked about that. Uh, you need to investigate. First thing you need to do is write down what you want to get out of trucking. What is your end game? Okay, if you just want to drive, then what difference does it make who you go with? Okay, but if you have a goal, then you need to choose a company. It may not be Prime, it may not be Swift, it may be some other company, but you need to find a company that's going to help you get your end game done. Okay, and for me, Swift fit the bill because I was looking for a company that I could get on the road solo the fastest, and Swift truck is insurance and Wi-Fi in the truck. I don't know if truck got Wi-Fi in them. Not unless you buy it. I'm gonna do a video when I install mine. And actually, Swift's gonna install it because it's it's not supposed to drill into the truck, and I want it mounted rather than hanging off the window. Um, uh, what about if you need the restroom? You use the restroom. You just same thing. You know what you do. If you're in the truck, uh,
do what you got to do.
yeah. Try not to try to drop a deuce in there because you got to smell it all the way home. But I use a collapsible bucket, and I drank a lot of tea, so I have a lot of spare tea bottles. Okay, so dispose of them properly. Okay, if you got to drop a deuce and it's raining outside and you got to go in the truck, well, I'm sorry, you just deal with it. But this is trucking life, and when you feel your stomach bubbling a little bit, find a pullover, find a rest area with some facilities, and they're not hard to find. There are some long stretches where you might have to resort to the bucket or the tea bottle, but for the most part, when you start feeling that, ooh, go on, pull over, man. Find your truck stop and take care of your business. You sitting there with your legs wobbling back and
Seems
forth.
like either Georgia or Alabama has a lot of those long stretches. I don't.
Yeah, and but Georgia and Alabama, give them credit. They got a bunch of trees. Find you one. Go
See,
on.
I haven't. I will not get to that point.
I ain't either. I'm not either. But hey, I have taken a poopy in the woods. Not from
I
truck
haven't.
driving. Not from truck driving.
Even in like the worst wartime conditions, I haven't.
Hey, uh, there's this dude. I used to, me and him did not see eye to eye on a whole lot of things. So I used to. He probably. I hope he don't ever watch. I hope he do because I don't. I used to go take a dump by his deer feeder, so the deer wouldn't come. So I pooped in the woods. Did somebody ask us a good question that I'd have just glazed the hell
No,
over?
I've been looking at them.
They all
Somebody
crazy.
says, yeah.
Oh, let me tell you. Let me tell you. Uh, let me finish telling you about the how to choose the difference. And I'm gonna tell you this. I'll put it to you this way. I'm gonna tell you why I chose Swift and considered Prime. And I'll let you know why I considered Prime
And
and then
I'll
go
do
Swift.
the
And you do
opposite
the
when
same.
you're done.
Right. Okay. Um, I had an end game, I still do, and that is to help my son, who's been in the trucking game for quite a while. Um, help him get it started in a trucking company. But I wouldn't do it without CRST. Had a friend of mine a few weeks ago. His trainer went on vacation. I didn't understand that. But so my goal with this was to learn a trucking game, uh, and uh, and then leave the company and go start a business with my son. And uh, I wanted to get my CDL license as quick as I could get it. I wanted to get my experience as quick as I could get it, and I wanted the process to be as easy as I can get it. And Prime was very, very, very high on the list because Prime, uh, when I was researching it, and if you want to call YouTube and researching, then it could be a good source. I used it, and uh, I got the impression that Prime was heavy on leasing, and they had a walkaway lease, and there's Peterbilts and all that good jazz. And I was, stoked about going to Prime, but I didn't want to go to Missouri and get a Missouri license and then uh, transfer it back to Texas and all that jazz. I didn't want to do that, and then I didn't want to drive all the way out there in my own car. And I did want to have my own car, the social transportation when I was in school, and you know, it, uh, it turns out Swift was close. They have an extremely high pay rate. In fact, if you can find a training company that pays a higher wage than Swift, please let me know, because there ain't one. Okay,
Right.
nope, wrong, wrong.
Where you? What's Swift paying?
Well, out of school, it's 38 cents a mile, and you get $500 a week with when you're on a trainer's truck, and you you're gonna get done with the school in 3 weeks, off the mentor's truck in about 4 weeks after that. So in about 7 weeks total, you already be into the money.
Okay, so I don't know what that works out to. Either way, I guess both of them are doing well. Now, here's a
Yes.
couple questions. Somebody was asking about can you have a friend and a pet on the truck at the same time? I think Prime, maybe even Swift, is 3 heartbeats.
Yeah.
So that would be you and two dogs,
Right.
or you, a dog, and a cat, whatever 3 heartbeats is. So
Right.
that's gonna.
Right. And that's going to be a good question. Uh, you guys, I've made another intro for Autumn. I let her do it so because she's prettier than me, and you can always give Autumn a call, and she can be more specific with these things, questions that we don't know. But I can tell you this: I've seen uh, a husband wife couple with a dog, and I've seen husband wife couples at the Swift terminals with two dogs. So um, I don't know that what they're doing, they're just doing it and saying, I'm going to do it, and if Swift catches me, we'll deal with it at that point. Or if Swift allows more, but I don't think so. I believe that three heartbeat thing, it's not the first time I've heard that. But on the Swift side, give Autumn a call and ask her, before you make that decision. But you know for a fact it's three at Prime.
Is Swift mainly a drop and hook type of company?
I don't know of any company that's mainly dropping hook. Okay,
Yes.
yeah, they're all gonna do a little bit of everything. Okay, um, I did a live load and a live unload. Uh, what's the youngest when it comes to kids? Uh, it was a guy just got in trouble behind it. His daughter was 8. I think he told me it was 15, 14, something like that. That's not a company uh, number there. That's a federal deal. You she got the he got to be a certain name. This guy got in some stuff, and he was there at the terminal with his daughter, and he and I was talking, and he's going to have to find a way to get his daughter home because he can't put her back on the truck. He he's got some custody and or his week or whatever. I think he's longer than a week for sure. I think it's the 6. Summer custody doesn't matter. But she had been on the truck for a while already, and now he's got to find her a ride home because they won't let her. He brought her into the terminal, and when he brought her in the terminal, he said, "Hey, who that?" Hey, my daughter. How old is she? 8. What's she doing? Driving. Well, sit down home. About how that works.
Uh,
It's insurance, not federal law. Okay.
as far as sleeping, time to just sleeping in the truck. Sleeping in the truck is easy if you're solo. It's not quite as easy if you're not. If that truck's moving,
Yeah.
and plus it depends on the situation. I mean, if you're solo, like I said, you're just gonna be up during the times you need to be up. If you're teaming, sometimes you're gonna be up during multiple drops and things like that. So that takes a while to get used to.
We'll try it. We'll keep that hard work going. Um, uh, that drop and hook thing. If all my loads was dropping hooks, woo, I'd be cheesing like a chess cat.
So as far as choosing a company, gotta make sure my wife's not around.
Yeah.
So I chose the company. I just figured I could do anything for a certain amount of time, so I really wasn't too concerned about a lot of different things. I'd planned on going with night transportation to begin with, and now that I'm into it, you know, looking at his situation where I live, so that's like all about that. Looking at what your goals are as far as home time, things like that. You know, I live in Colorado. To have a dedicated route going from Salt Lake City to Colorado would be a good deal. That being said, I do think there's some benefit that goes along with seeing other traffic type situations, things like that. But in the long run, uh, that may be something that I end up moving to as something that's more kind of where I can get back home a little more often rather than, a month or 3 weeks or something like that. So those are things that if you really, really need to be home, like my kids are grown and all that kind of stuff, if you
Hmm.
really need to, you definitely need to do your research.
Right.
And if you're a rookie and don't have any experience, sometimes that's going to dictate, you're not going to dictate that. That's going to dictate you.
Hmm. That's right. That's right. And by the way, when you get ready, I got a good recruiter. Okay, let me know. I hook you up.
You might be with your son at that point.
Yeah,
I'm still loving that prime situation, as a matter of fact.
yeah. Hey, I talk a lot of trash. I know that, but I consider Prime, and I probably would have gone with Prime had it not been for the math on, and the logistics of it. It was just so close to me with Swift, and I'm, just like you're very happy with your decision. I couldn't be happier. I couldn't be happier. And that being said, I don't know that I wouldn't have been as happy as at Prime. You know, very well may have been just as happy, but uh, if I had to do it all over again, I'm going back with Swift right now. If I had to do it the third time, I'm going right back with Swift. I mean, I know it's good. You know, and I ain't got to go to Missouri to get my license.
Or
Right.
Salt Lake City, where I got mine.
Yeah, yeah. I like Salt Lake now. I've been here for a while, right?
Okay, how many states did I drive through first year? Actually, I was addressed to both of us. I've gone through every state except for Washington, Oregon, and then like maybe Maine, New Hampshire, and Connecticut. Outside of that, I've hit every single state. As a matter of fact,
I've been to Connecticut and New
as a
Hampshire.
matter of fact, I've hit every single state the last month and a half. So,
I've been to New Jersey, but I haven't been to New York. And
New York, actually, upstate New York,
upstate New
that's
York
the best.
is good. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
I love that.
yeah. From what I've heard. That's just like country riding. This,
You get there, Buffalo, all that. Yeah, that's
yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah. So I wouldn't mind doing that, but I don't know if I want to mess around with
As a
this
matter
stuff.
of fact, I would almost venture to say that I've been in every single of those states, with the exception of the ones I mentioned, within the last 2 weeks,
Yeah,
maybe three.
yeah. You'd be surprised in a day how many states you know. And listen, guys, to and through are two different things. A lot of them states we've gone through,
Yeah,
that
there you
not
go.
exactly to. Because might not even stop to dump my pee bottle there. I kept going. But you know what? I might start doing that. Stopping and, stop, instead of going all the way through a state, just stop and leave something. That way you can say you actually visited that state. They got, you know, poor canned or something.
You know what I like though? Service areas in the Northeast. You know what I mean? As
Uh
opposed to like your typical truck stop.
huh.
More, more,
Oh,
selection. Plus, you have
right.
easier parking.
They do. I've noticed a lot of those. The northern states have those big, huge rest area type of things, and they're
Service plazas. Yeah.
they're called service plazas. I've passed up a whole bunch of them talking about where the damn rest area, and then I pass by it, and they're huge, and a lot of them are left entry, so you have to be in a left lane to get in there. And I'm going, look, this backwards, some are going, but if you go in there, it makes sense. It makes sense to come out that way too, and and facilities are pretty nice. A lot of them even have fast food restaurants if you want to do that.
Oh, they got all that.
Yeah, I still remember last week I met you. How you been? I've been wonderful. I was glad to meet you. I don't know what it was, but I'm always glad to meet you. So when I see you guys, or you see me, generally that's where it works. You see me, hey, don't tap me on the shoulder because I might scare the poop out of me. But say, hey, and I turn around and go, hey, Ubius, and we can have a good conversation. I might even let you buy me a coffee or a new truck or something.
Now, he might be a little slightly over 50 than me, so I'm not going to be just shitting on myself if you tap on my shoulder.
Yeah, yeah. I'd have done a lot of people bad in my day, so I never know who coming to get me. I live in here. Oh man, I missed that one. Somebody wondered about a
I
permit.
live in, I guess it's Mississippi. If I get my permit here, if I went to Swift to train in Memphis, do I train in for CDL in Okay, so do I train in Tennessee or Mississippi, or do I test in Tennessee or
You
Mississippi?
have to test where the testers are, which is at the school that you attend, and they're going to give you uh, a certificate where they've signed off on your, that you've done what you need to do, and that you're qualified to get a CDL. My student, and by the way, you're definitely going to want to talk to Autumn about this because some states don't recognize other states' training. So it kind of depends. You in Mississippi, they may not. Other states might not accept it, or Mississippi may not accept other folks. Okay, so you want to get with your recruiter and ask them the proper way to get this done. If you call Autumn, she's definitely gonna have you get your permit first and get going. It's raised the success rate tremendously, tremendously. Dude. We go to CDL school, you may start with 50 people. The next day you show up in class, 25 people, because 25 of them can't get off the dope, and so they gone. And then over the next couple of days, you're going to whittle down to about 10 because the rest of them can't pass the permit test. So this is true deal, bro. True deal. I'm telling you. Drive in a reefer. What do you think? What'd you say? Drive in a reefer?
Well, I'd rather pull a dry van, but reefer is going to be more consistent. You're never going to run out of reefer. So.
Folk got to eat.
I mean, if you just look at outside of Swift or Prime, with what's going on in the market right now, reefer is staying consistent, dry van is dropping down. So a lot of what's saving companies that have dry van fleets is that they are established and have their own connections and things like that. So
somebody asked a question about California, and do you remember what that question was about in California? Was it California or was it Florida?
They were hiring.
If they were hiring.
If Prime was.
Uh-huh. And which one? Was it California? Were they talking about California?
California, I brought it up.
Yeah, okay. Now let me explain something to you about that.
Flatbed, wait, look, hold on. Before you know that. This is 250-year-olds plus. Now, he may want to do flatbed and get into all that. I tend to try to act a little bit more like a 50-year-old and relax a little bit. So, dry or a flatbed is not going to be anything I may even be considering doing.
Right. I am. I'm going to. I am going to consider flatbed.
Heavy
okay.
haul, I guess.
Yeah, because I have to do all that.
But
good
that's
stuff.
not even the same.
However,
heavy haul is different.
Correct. However, when I go hunting, I bring my son. They the one to go out there and bring the ducks back. And when I flatbed my student, they gonna want we don't want to throw them tops and chains. Bam, 50 plus. See.
All right. Here's a question for me. Am I a company or lease driver? Okay, so I got my CDL in April, and after that, I was supposed to go on my trainer's truck for 30,000 miles. Me and my trainer got along so well that I ended up staying on his truck. So right now I have about, I'd say I could have got off and upgraded. If I did, I would go lease. But I stayed on for a number of different reasons. And if you subscribe to my channel, No Hippie Trucking and Transport, I'll get into that. But the reason that I haven't got off on my own truck yet and I'm staying in this training status is I don't want to go lease unless it's necessary before the beginning of the year. So I will be going lease. And the reason I'm going to go lease isn't driven by money. But if it was driven by money, I've been seeing those checks. And anybody that's saying that Prime drivers ain't making no money on them leases ain't talking to the right Prime drivers, because they're making some money over there. But that's not why I'm doing it.
Right. That's why I do it. I like to get put.
That's what they mean.
Correct. And let me tell you something. Outside of the money, and I'm gonna talk about money. We was talking about money earlier. Talk about money. I don't know of a whole lot of industries you can get from behind flipping hamburgers. 3 weeks later, be on the mint to his truck. 7 total weeks making on average between $40,000 to $50,000, and you got that much education. I mean, come on. This industry is extremely good. It can be very, very good for you. Okay. Um, the freight situation with uh, with with dry van is correct. This it kind of does this, but um, in reefer it is a little bit more consistent, a lot more consistent because they have that, we gotta eat, right? Eating don't take a vacation. Eating don't have seasons. Therefore, they get the run. But uh, there's different styles of of driving, because if you're going to be reefer, there's a lot of extra steps you got to take with reefer, and they do a lot of live loads, live unloads, and things like that. There's some dropping hooks, or T-call or something like that, but for the very most part of it is live loads, live unloads, and a lot of sitting, and you do get paid for those things. So it just kind of depends on what style you like. I like to keep moving, so I do drive van. So let me tell you something. If you're living in California, uh, and you want to drive with Swift, and you living in California, look here, you fixing to get some work. So call Autumn, call her. What type of things does Swift flatbed haul? I've seen those, those little uh, cargo van things that Prime, Amazon Prime uses. Swift haul those. Um, I've seen other vehicles on the back of those flatbeds. I've seen RGNs, uh, step decks. So they got all sorts of stuff. If it can fit on there, they're gonna haul it. As long as it's legal load. I've never seen them pull a oversized, but I know they do because I see the oversized trucks. There's some in Salt Lake right now. Got the lights on them and everything. Uh, does reefer pay more? It's all relative, guys. Um, if both guys were the same, ran the same mentality, same work ethic, is reefer gonna pay more? It's designed to. Okay, but I can't tell you for sure.
Well, it pays more cents per mile. Now,
Correct.
how does that translate over is the question. Flatbed
Correct.
pays more at Prime, but flatbed drivers don't get the same miles
Correct.
as reefer drivers. Somebody asked what my channel name was. No Hippie Trucking and Transport Wannabe. And listen, if you're into that barbecue and cooking lifestyle, run over to No Hippie Barbecue. That's my other channel right there.
And don't be fooled. Okay, just because the title says no hippie barbecue, didn't mean that he only gonna do barbecue, because he does a lot of cooking, and it's not all outdoorsy.
Actually, 40% might be barbecue, maybe even 30.
Yeah, yeah, and you're gonna get some good stuff. That's a lot of alternative eating meals.
Vegan and shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's how you do some of that stuff. You know. What about keto stuff?
Actually, that keto works so fucking well. The only problem is it's hard to do that shit on the road.
Yeah.
I mean, I've probably, no doubt, I've gained probably 12, 15 pounds just being out on the road. And it's not eating bad, it's just not having access to the same
Quality of food.
Well,
too.
if I have my own truck, so that's one of the reasons I'm thinking about actually getting off early.
Yeah.
Is to have more control over where I stop, when I stop, what I eat, what I can store, things like that. So,
I will say this: I have gotten some keto advice from my mentor, and I started about 2 months ago, maybe three. I can't remember exactly, but anyway, it doesn't matter. And no grains, flour, none of that kind of stuff. Of course, no sodas, and and uh, so if you did not seem like a whole lot, but when you say no grains, man, that's flour. That means no spaghetti and noodles
corn.
and corn. Yeah, and I like all of that. And uh, I went down 16 pounds, and some of it I missed, and I cheated all week long eating a big old pot of spaghetti, and but you know, cheat a little bit, but I for the most part, I would highly recommend that keto thing, and I know you got some keto uh, deals on your site, right?
As a matter of fact, I will be going back to that when I have more control over what I have to cook.
Yeah,
As a matter of fact, we're getting my little smoker
going.
turned on. We're not going old school. We're not using a charcoal wood smoker. We're going with the camshaft pellet smoker for this cook. So it's a little bit easier than if I was to light up a whole smoker. So let me do that right quick.
D Lee guy, he subscribed to you. Good deal. Both channels? Did you get both channels, the cooking and the trucking? Look at that. I'm gonna turn this way. Can y'all see? I mean, let's say, look, he live in this like $1 million estate. You know, got me all jealous. See all them woods back there? I'm waiting for some deer to come out so I can put some venison on the pit.
You know what? There be deer out here too.
See? They wouldn't let me in here. They wouldn't let me come live in here. Yeah, it does. And it feels good too. The weather is good. If I was in Houston, I would be probably sweating down my back. You ready to do some? You ready to do some cooking, La?
What's that?
You ready to do some cooking?
Yeah, we're about to get this fired up.
All right, guys. We're gonna shut it down. Thank you for the logging on, and remember, hit him up. No hippie, and we're gonna do this again. So save all of your questions and comments, and you'll have a Swifty and a Prime guy together. And oh, one last question.
Woo, my hands are
Justin, go ahead and give me that one last question. I don't know if he's still there. Justin had one last question. Go ahead and email me. Oh, there he is. Where did y'all meet? He was actually a subscriber, just like you guys, and we just kept in contact. And remember, if you guys, anytime you see me at a terminal, let's chat it up, okay? Um, my deal is to make a journey for you guys as smooth as silk like mine, and that's the reason I do this. And I enjoy meeting each and every last one of you. And we're going to take a picture, and then I'm going to get some light on me. How's that? It looks kind of weird. There it is. Um, I'm going to take a picture with you guys, and then I'm going to upload it on YouTube so we don't never forget each other, okay? So, anyways, guys, gals, come on out here, burn some fuel, and remember, deliver undistracted. Here's your boot.